Hello Eurovision fans, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. We have now seen TV feeds of the second rehearsal of the semi-final 1 participants, small clips that you can find on the official channel of the Eurovision Song Contest, and I want to talk about them. And to keep it interesting, I've thought of a new format, and that is a tier list. So let's have a look. I will let you know whether the rehearsal is exceeding my expectations, is meeting my expectations, or is worse than I expected. And I'm basing this on what I expected the performance and the rehearsal to be like, what my expectations were before rehearsals started. I will talk about each of the countries, of course, and let you know what I think. Now, let's get started with Norway. She is, according to the odds amongst the contenders, when I see this performance, I don't get the feel that this is a Eurovision winning performance, to be honest. I do think that she is pretty good vocally. In the clip, it sounds a bit off and a little bit that she's out of breath also. I do like the new outfit though, and I like the backing dancers also, the strobe effect. But all in all, it is kind of what I expected. I had hoped that they would be a bit more gimmicky and lean into that a bit more. I do like the color scheme that we could see in the TV feed clip. The red is really impactful, I think. So she's somewhere between as expected or worse, but I'm putting her in as expected because, yeah, not that many surprises, to be honest. Malta, I found really funny to see that they are actually sweating because they have on a sweater and they are on a big stage. So not sure what they're gonna do to alleviate the heat they're probably feeling with these sweaters on, but of course the song kind of needs you to wear a sweater. I do think that this looks really, really fun and well done. The charisma of the lead singer could come across a bit more, I think, but overall they have the car, they have everything you really need for a fun performance. The problem is the kind of repetitive song. They have the screens also, Act 1, Act 2, like in the national final, and just in general, it is very much like the national final, so I'm putting it in as expected, kind of. Then Serbia, there seems to be more drama in the whole performance. There are also captions on the screen that kind of explain what is going on a little bit and give it a video game character feel. What I'm kind of on the fence about is it's very in your face and very out there and special and kind of also very intense. And it's a bit like with Spain, I'm not 100% sure how the general audience will receive this kind of song and this kind of intensity. So I'm a bit on the fence about its chances. When it comes to was the performance as expected, I think it is a bit better than expected or as expected. I'm putting it in as expected because it's basically like the national final performance. But I am kind of worried for Serbia whether the general audience will actually understand what is going on and why all of these things are happening on screen. There were also some tubes missing, it seemed like. He pulled something out and there was nothing, no tube. So maybe there was some error, I don't know. But yeah, overall, pretty okay rehearsal. Latvia is exactly like the national final. I don't see any difference except for the clothes, and so I'm putting them in as expected. I don't have a lot of things to say about it. I do think it would need a bit more lighting to see the lead singer a bit more, but they opted for this and I respect that. And also, this is going to be really, really tough to qualify. I don't think it will make it, even though I really, really like this song. Portugal. Now, I like the hair. I kind of like the dress, but there are parts of the dress flying around her, and that's a bit distracting. And overall, it's vocally a very good performance, I have to say. It is a bit as expected. The couch is missing, but otherwise, great color schemes. The contrast between her dress and the background is good. So, but I did expect something a bit more, yeah, a prop or something that makes this performance stand out even more. Of course, Mimicat is almost enough to make it stand out a bit more, but my expectations were really high for this one, so I'm putting it as worse. I'm sorry. I do love this song, and I wanted to qualify, just to be clear. This is just that my expectations were extremely high, and they were not 100% met, unfortunately. Then Ireland. What you have to remember is that the delegations get to choose the 30 seconds that are shown in these clips. And I cannot believe that these are supposed to be the 30 best seconds of that entry and that performance. He's touching a hand on the floor, which looks really awkward. He looks like he's suffering for some reason while he sings most of the part. The outfit is really not great. I really wanted this to stand out and to have this anthemic feel in a big hall, but it's not working for me. I'm so sorry, but it isn't. And it is actually much worse than I thought. I thought they could elevate it to something where, everyone is singing along, we are one, great, but they are called Wild Youth, and there's just no real wildness in this performance. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to be too mean, but I really don't think that this is it. And vocally, it sounded really off, unfortunately. Then Croatia. It seems much more tamed than I expected. Maybe we are only seeing the first part of the performance where it is a bit more tamed. I would hope that it becomes more crazy and Dadaist later on. But overall, it is basically what I expected, to be honest. Israel, this is channeling Chanel. She is trying to do the Chanel thing. When she does it alone on the floor, it is very impressive, the kinds of moves she does. But the spark doesn't come across. When I saw Chanel in her rehearsals for the first time, I was like, oh my God, what is this? It's amazing, because it fit the song and everything else. Here, it just seems like she's trying to show us the best moves she has, and it doesn't really connect to the music and to the song. I don't know. It is very impactful. It is going to convince a lot of people to vote for it, but me personally, I'm a bit on the fence about it. And then when the backing dancers come in and they do the unicorn part, and there are actually unicorns in the background. That's very good. Not centaurs. She actually has unicorns. I'm happy about that. But I don't understand why they cut away so much from what is actually happening in this dance sequence, because they show the arena, and that you don't get to connect to what is happening in the dance. I think they should have just a frontal camera on what is happening, like they did with Chanel, and maybe a few pans. But showing the arena so much, I don't think is the best idea. So this is a bit worse than I expected. I really thought that this would be way more impactful as a performance, to be honest. Switzerland, yeah. I don't understand the clothes at all. I don't understand what this has to do with the theme of the song, with the feel of the song. I don't get it. I am still not happy with interpretive dancers in a song about not wanting to go to war. But kind of it works for some reason. I have a lot of my mind says it shouldn't work, but my heart or my feeling says it does kind of work. It makes it more powerful when he does the movements. But then when I listen to the lyrics again, I'm like, why are you doing this? So yeah, I'm not sure where to put this. I think it's actually better than I expected, because the first time I heard about interpretive dancers, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be problematic. It is not as problematic as I thought. I still don't like it, but it's better than my expectation, and that is what this is about. Czechia, I'm going to put this in much better right away. We were all talking about how messy sometimes the pre-performances were. Everyone was kind of expecting them to wear the same clothes as in the national final or as in the music video, and they don't. They have cohesive outfits. I really love when the Bulgarian rap part comes in. The screens show an angry woman rapping. I don't know if it is the rapper. It probably is. And I really like that. And I feel like there are more things happening that we haven't seen yet. So I'm very intrigued by that. I think it's really smart that they focus on the female empowerment message. People will get that much more easily than the supporting Ukraine message. So yeah, Czechia has really, really outdone themselves, and it's much better than I expected. Now we talk about Sweden. This is, I don't understand what is happening, but this sounds extremely off-key to me, very scratchy. Vocally, it sounds really not good at all, and it doesn't sound and look like a Eurovision winning performance as it is now. Let me know in the comments if I'm mishearing it, but it really sounds off-key and quite noticeably off-key. The performance itself, yeah, okay, the screen is smaller. It is still going to be quite impactful, but you do notice that the screen is smaller, but I mean, it's hard to analyze because we know the Melodifestivalen performance, we love it, and now this seems a bit smaller to us, but the general audience is still going to see a very impressive performance and a great idea for a performance. But I have to say I expected, especially vocally, a lot more, and I'm going to put it in much worse than I expected. And I kind of hope that she is going to be much better in the actual semi-final, because otherwise it really doesn't feel like a Eurovision winner to me anymore, unfortunately. You're probably disagreeing with me while you're watching this. Let me know in the comments if I'm completely off. But yeah, I'm not saying she's not going to win. I'm saying it doesn't seem as 100% clear anymore as it did before the rehearsals to me. Then the Netherlands. Lots of talk about this one, especially about the vocals. They changed the key, they changed a lot of things about the song, I think, but it works, it sounds good, it looks good. They're on a turning platform, and there are great camera angles that you can do with this. And for a song like this, where she sings a part, he sings a part, that is really a smart idea, I think. Not happy about the outfits that much, but those arms are not bad. And so the Netherlands were really a positive surprise, and I'm putting them in much better than expected. Azerbaijan, I mean, I love the hair. I like the colorful suits, but that's everything I have to say about this. It's kind of boring. It will be lost, I think, and will not qualify. So it's kind of what I expected, to be honest. Then we have Moldova. Really interesting with the unicorns, and they actually come after Israel, so it's fun to have unicorns after the unicorn song. And then when they come together, it actually becomes antlers and this reference to Mama Paduri, which I find really cool. Pasha is a good performer. He doesn't have a shirt on, which is not bad. And overall, I think this is as expected, kind of, because I expected Moldova to have a great staging. But yeah, they really delivered, I think. And this is definitely going to qualify, I would say. And I'm putting this in better as expected, actually, because I didn't expect them to be that good. The flute player, now that I understand the references, it makes to Moldovan and Romanian folklore. I get it more, but it still seems too gimmicky to me. But what can I do? And then last but not least, the big surprise, I think, is Finland. He has this giant box that he's standing on. There's a shadow behind him imitating his moves. When he sticks his tongue out, the shadow turns into a frog tongue. I'm not sure about that. I think that's a bit too much. Then the cha-cha-cha dancers come out of the box. He's probably going down while the dancers are being shown. And it's just... this feels a bit more like a Eurovision winning performance. But we have to remember, we know the national final performance for both Sweden and Finland, and are kind of comparing it with that. The general audience will not know that and will see the performance as such. But I do think that Finland has a very impressive and very impactful performance. They really went all out. They really want to win this. And much better, because I basically thought they would do kind of the same thing as in the national final, which was already very good with the palettes and the dancers, but they have really upgraded this performance, and you can notice that they really want to win. So just a reminder, this doesn't mean that I prefer Czechia over Sweden, because Czechia is in the first tier and Sweden in the last. This is what my expectations were before the rehearsals, and whether they were exceeded or worse than my expectations in the rehearsals. Now, I also want to look at the odds for a minute. And to be honest, when we look at the odds, the most noticeable thing about the odds is that they haven't changed that much. The order, general order of countries hasn't really changed. Israel hasn't gone up. Finland is still second, has a much better percentage now, 23%. But overall, there's no Eleni Foureira moment where someone in 15th place is suddenly first or second. I'm kind of expecting something like this to happen with the Big Five. Maybe Italy, they seem to have a very interesting performance where there's two Marcos. I've read that. I'm not sure whether that's rumors. France, maybe Spain if they have a great staging. Germany, UK, really excited for those, to see those today, later on today, and I will talk about them tomorrow. So come back for that as well. And thank you for listening, and see you in my next video. Bye-bye.